Namo Narayana, welcome back. We're reading today by Adi Shankar, the Prashnottara Ratna Malika, also known as the Garland of Gems of Questions and Answers. And this is quite a lengthy Q&A, for lack of anything else. It's just asks and answers and asks and answers. So I'm going to go through this, and I apologize if it's a little awkward. I'll try to keep it not so awkward so you know what I'm asking and what I'm answering. Let's dive into the first half of the Prashnottara Ratna Malika. What should be accepted? Guru's advice should be accepted. What should be avoided? Bad acts should be avoided. Who is the Guru? He who knows truth and thinks of the good of his students. What should be done speedily? Attain salvation by avoiding repeated births and deaths. What is good for you? Dharma is good for you. Who is learned? He who is wise is learned. What is poisonous? Disregarding advice of elders is poisonous. What is the ultimate of ordinary life? The ultimate is thinking about the ultimate. What should men yearn for? They should yearn for the good of themselves and others. What makes you tipsy like alcohol? Desire and attachment makes you tipsy like alcohol. What is the climbing tendril in domestic life? Desire is the climber. Who is your enemy? Laziness is your enemy. All people are afraid of what? All of them are afraid of death. Who is blinder than the blind? Man with desire is blinder than the blind. Who is valorous? He who controls his mind. What is the nectar which can be eaten by our ears? Advice by great people is such nectar. What is the root for recognition? Not asking for favors from anybody is such a root. What cannot be measured? The damsel's gait cannot be measured. Who is wise? He who is not deceived by women is wise. What is sorrow? Being not satisfied is sorrow. What is debasing? Being forced to beg from a debased man is debasing. What is hi-fi life? Living a life without faults is hi-fi life. What is ignorance? Not getting trained in anything is ignorance. Who is awake? Wise men are awake. What is sorrow? The foolishness of all living beings is sorrow. What is transient like the water on a lotus leaf? Youth, wealth, and lifespan are transient. Who are similar to the rays of moon and do well to others? Good people. What is hell? It is being in the control of others. What is being all right? It is forsaking everything. What should be achieved? You should try to do good to all people. What is dear to all animals? Their soul is dear to them. What leads to wrong results? Pride leads to wrong results. What leads to pleasure? Friendship with good people leads to pleasure. Who is expert in removing all sorrows? He who forsakes everything is such an expert. Which is equivalent to death? Being a fool is equivalent to death. Which is invaluable? Giving anything at the time when it is required badly is invaluable. What hurts till you die? The sin committed in secret hurts till you die. For what should you take effort? To learn, to be healthy, and to giving charity needs great effort. What should be disregarded? Bad people, others' wives, and others' wealth. What should you think of always during day and night? You should think that there is no meaning in life and not about women. To what should you get attached? To mercy towards sad people and towards friendship with good people. Whose soul cannot be reformed? Bad people, doubting Thomases, people with an ever sad face, and ungrateful people. Who is a good man? The one with good character is a good man. Who is debased? Someone with bad character is a bad man. Whom will gods worship? Gods will worship those who have mercy. Seeing which should we be afraid? Seeing the forest of domestic life, we should be afraid. Who can control all living beings? He who tells truth, speaks pleasantly, and has humility can control all beings. Forgetting things that we see and things that we cannot see, where should we stand? In the path of justice. Who is blind? The learned man who does evil acts. Who is deaf? He who cannot hear good words. Who is dumb? He who cannot speak comforting words at appropriate time. What is wisdom? Giving without asking is wisdom. Who is a friend? He who prevents us from doing sin. What is beautiful? Good character is beautiful. What are beautiful words? Truth is the most beautiful word. What is as transient as the lightning? Company of bad people and friendship with women. Who do not slip from obeying rules of the caste? Learned people. What is difficult to get in this world? Like Chintamani, the wish-giving gem. The good four, or Chatur Pratham. What is Chatur Pratham, the good four, which drives away the darkness of ignorance? 1. Charity coupled with sweet words. 2. Knowledge without pride. 3. Valor without patience. And 4. Wealth with sacrifice. These 4 rare things are called the good four. What should be pitied? Miserliness. What is fit to be praised when one has wealth? Philanthropy. Who is fit to be worshipped by the wise? He who has natural humility. Like the lotus shines on seeing the sun, on seeing whom will a clan shine? On seeing its members with good characters coupled with good humility. Who can make this world as his slave? He who speaks sweet words, holds conversation which leads to good, and observes Dharma can make this world as his slave. What attracts the mind of the wise men? Good poems and a wise lady. Who will never face danger? He who obeys the advice of elders and also has humility. Whom will the goddess of wealth love? She will love a person with active mind and just conduct. From whom would the goddess of wealth run away? She will run away from lazy people and those who insult teachers and Brahmins. Where should we live? We should live near good people. From which country we should go away? That country which is ruled by a miserly tyrant. How can man be without sorrow? By having a wife with humility and stable wealth. In the world, what type of man will always be sad? He who has wealth but does not give it to anybody will be sad. What leads to worst words about a man? His begging from debased people. Who is more valorous than Lord Sri Rama? That man who does not lose his stability in spite of the arrows from the god of love. What should occupy your thoughts day and night? The feet of God and not this life. Who are blind even though they have eyes? Atheists. Who would be called lame in this world? He who goes for pilgrimage when he is old. What is the most sacred water? That which removes dirt from the mind. What should be spoken of by men? The name of Hari. What should not be told by a wise man? Lie and ills about others. What should man earn? Knowledge, wealth, strength, fame, and the result of good deeds. What wipes away all good characters? Miserliness. Who is the enemy? Time. Which ministry should be avoided? The ministry without wise and old ministers. In this world, in what should man be sincere? In government service. What is dearer than the soul? Dharma of our caste and company of good people. What is like the ever-perennial banyan tree? Charity given to the proper people. What is the weapon for everybody? The capability of proving with just deeds. Who is the mother for everybody? The cow. What is the army? Courage. What is, like God of death, a careless life? Where is poison? With bad people in this world. What is the unclean, untouchable state? The time when one takes loan and cannot repay. What is the state of fearlessness? Absence of desire for everything, or renunciation. What is fear? Money. What is rarely obtained by men? Devotion to Hare Krishna. What is sin? Troubling others. Who is the darling of God? He who does not suffer himself and also not cause suffering to others. How do you achieve things? By austerity. Where is wisdom? With wise men. What is real wisdom? In approaching great people and serving them. Who are great people? They who know the codes of good conduct. Which is more sorrowful than death for a famous man? Notoriety. Who leads a pleasant life in the world? He who has wealth. And what is wealth? That which fulfills one's desires. What is the reason for a pleasant life? Compensation for good deeds. From where does suffering originate? It originates from sin. Who will get wealth? Those who worship God with devotion will get wealth. Who would attain progress? He who has humility will attain progress. Who would lose? A proud man will lose. Who should not be believed? A man who always tells lies. When is telling lies not a sin? Telling a lie to protect Dharma is not a sin. What is Dharma? That which has been considered as Dharma in our community by our ancestors. What is the strength of good people? God. Who are great people? Those who are always happy are great people. What is God? The good deeds done are gone. Who does good deeds? He who is praised by good people. Who is the friend for a family man? His wife. Who is the family man? He who does sacrifices. What are sacrifices? That which are indicated in the Vedas, which leads to one's upliftment. To whom will religious duties give benefit? He who is religious has knowledge and good character. Who is disciplined? He who considers Vedas as his basis of life. Who is equivalent to a dead man? He who does not do his duties. Who is lucky? He who has renounced everything. Who is fit to be worshipped? He who is well read and is learned. Who should be a servant? A philanthropist. Who is a philanthropist? He who satisfies the man who begs. What is the greatest luck for one with a body? Absence of disease. Who would get benefit? He who tries hard. Who does not have sin? He who chants the name of God always. Who is contented? He who has good sons. What is difficult for a man to do? Keeping his mind under control always. Who is a brahmachari? He who avoids contact with women and is safe from such contacts. Who is a paradevata? It is goddess Parvati who is personification of knowledge. Who is the Lord of the world? The sun god, he that feeds the world. Who is responsible to keep beings alive? Rain. Who is responsible for keep beings alive? Rain. Who is brave? He who saves those who are afraid. Who is the teacher of the world, the Jagat Guru? Lord Shiva. Where from one gets knowledge? We get it from Lord Shiva. Wherefore can one get salvation? From devotion to Lord Mukunda. Which is Lord Mukunda? He who makes us cross ignorance. What is ignorance? Forgetting of the soul is ignorance. Who does not have sorrow? He who does not have any anger does not have sorrow. What is pleasure? Contentment. Who is king? He who pleases the people. Who is dog? He who works under a man with downright bad habits is a dog. Who controls illusion? The Supreme God controls illusion. What is magic? The world. What is similar to dreams? What happens when we are awake is similar to dreams. What is truth? The supreme, conceptual, all-pervading God. What is a lie? That which is destroyed by wisdom is a lie. What is silly? The horn of a rabbit. What cannot be classified as truth or a lie? Maya or illusion. What is taught by Maya or illusion? The concept of duality, that God and beings are different. What is fit for real wisdom? The concept of non-duality. Wherefrom is ignorance born? There is no beginning to it. What acts like a tonic to the body? Actions already done. What gives food? Life. Who is to be worshipped by the Brahmin? Gayatri, sun god, fire, and Lord Shiva, who is within all of these. What does Gayatri, sun, fire, and Lord Shiva have? It is the principle. For who is God whom we can see? Mother. Who is the teacher fit to be worshipped? Father. Who is the personification of all gods? A wise man who does all his karmas. Who is responsible for destruction of a clan? He who creates sorrow in the mind of good people. Whose words would become true? He who observes penance of truth, penance of silence, and patience. What is the cause of birth? Attachment. What is the next birth? Son. Who cannot be avoided? God of death. Where should we keep your feet? Should be kept in places which look clean to the eye. Who is fit for giving food as charity? It should be given to he who is hungry. Who should be worshipped? Incarnations of God. Who is the Godhead? It is the Maheshvara, the combination of Shiva and Vishnu. What is the result of devotion to God? Being able to see him everywhere. What is salvation? Death of ignorance. From where were the Vedas created? From the letter Om. And thus ends 175 questions and answers. I didn't know if I would make all of that, but I was on a roll and I figured let's just do this. So I'm going to keep this video by not really making many comments. I wouldn't even know where to start, other than this is really profound, and he's just there's a lot here which could be really elaborated on. So I would love it if you started the conversation and you elaborate on something, and let's together, keep it going. And I'll cut this video here and just say thank you for watching, and Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.